Yes, well, it was my intent to allow Mr. Leno to present. If we're prepared, Mr. Leno, we'll hear your bill. And there have been some late-minute developing issues, and I might ask if you could just give a general introduction to the area and perhaps touch on some of the issues that I believe have been worked out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much for working with me and allowing your staff time to work with my office so that we could reach some agreement. And given that this is a somewhat new subject matter, both to me as well as to many members of the committee, I'll walk you through this, and then at the end of the presentation share with you some suggested amendments that I think will be agreeable to the committee and the chair. The standard created in AB 1668 for file formats assures the greatest level of flexibility for the state. Because open file formats are fully published and available without restrictions to any software developer, they can be incorporated into a number of different software applications. This broadens the IT choices available to the state in selecting a solution for accessing and using electronic text documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. In comparison, closed file formats limit the state's options for file interoperability by discouraging the file implementation by multiple applications. It's a practice that leads to what's known as lock-in. By using proprietary formats, the state actually limits its available options for finding the best solution. In essence, the state becomes locked into a system because there are no solutions outside of the one made available by the creator of the proprietary format. Closed and open file formats are not technology innovations. They are simply a method by which to store information. I'm going to repeat that because I had to repeat it to myself a few times when this was first brought to me to understand what we're doing here. Closed and open file formats are not technology innovations. They are simply a method by which to store information. The only difference is that with an open file format, you do not need to go back to the same program that created the file in the first place. It removes all artificial restrictions that the owners of proprietary format often employ, such as limiting the use of the closed format by other programs or requiring the purchase of new software for continued access to the closed files. I'm sure we've all had that experience that you have to either buy something new, upgrade to some new level to be able to access your own files. The user of the closed format falls victim to the whims of the closed format creator. An open file format returns the choice to the file owner, in this case the state, because the format is unrestricted. Interoperability remains a problem for the state. In fact, the committee staff's recent difficulty opening a new Microsoft Word file format to work on this bill illustrates the growing interoperability issues that agencies and departments face in the short term. AB 1668 is needed now to prevent additional interoperability issues and help give the state flexibility in addressing its technology needs. California and most other U.S. governments, corporations, and individuals in this country and around the world have dug themselves into a hole by tying up so much of our data in a format that can be properly accessed only by the products of a single supplier. The open document formats that will be approved under this bill's standard are simply those by which the specifications are available and broadly adoptable. Many countries around the world are moving in this direction. The state of Massachusetts already has, and I think that California would benefit by this. Now, the chair, quite wisely, when discussing this with me, recognized that this is a step in a new direction and one that may not be entirely understood in all of its complexities as we move forward, and didn't want to bet the farm on it. So we thought, well, what if we bet a small corner of the field just so that we could try this out? So what I would like to suggest is that what we do as an amendment would be to establish an open file format implementation demonstration project in no fewer than one, but up to 3 state agencies. And the agencies will be named once the entities have been identified and with their approval. So we would impose this upon no state entity without their approval, and then require a study of this implementation demonstration project to be conducted by a task force that would be made up of the Legislative Analyst's Office, the Legislative Data Center, as well as the Department of Technological Services and the Department of Finance. So we'll have a balance of administrative and legislative voices on this task force. Now, all of this would be clarified with further detail as it moves through the Appropriations Committee, the governance of the task force and such. And I'll be working with the chair to make sure that we're in agreement. Clearly, if we were in disagreement and I tried to move forward something to the floor without the chair's approval, he has every opportunity to bring it back to you, the committee members, for further discussion, but that would not be the case. We'll move forward in tandem. And then an additional amendment suggested by the chair that would read, modify the requirement that new IT procurements leverage existing state technology investments by directing the state CIO to develop a new revised standard for IT procurement that weighs the leverage of existing IT investments against the state's archival needs, business needs, and the public's right to access government information. Your choice, Mr. Chair. I know sometimes when I was chairing a public policy committee, rather than take these last-minute amendments, I'm happy to take all of these in good faith as I've described them in the Appropriations Committee in the next week or so.
Very well.